But Johnny, let's move on into our next topic, and we're taking a look at the MCU, a little bit of a theory. We haven't talked about theories much. We haven't talked about a good theory. We haven't had a good theory in quite some time.
I need to get you like a card of some sort, because you always do this, and I feel like something needs to be in your hand.
What, like like the game host who's got the little cue card?
Yeah.
Is that what you feel like I need?
It'll say,
I'm always doing one of these.
It'll either be like MVP on there, or it'll actually say it'll have a separate one for each podcast.
For each one that I just put, for each topic, I throw one.
Yeah,
away.
exactly. You just at the end of it, you can just go.
But what we're looking at, Captain Marvel, is Captain Marvel a part of an alternate timeline? Now, I'm going to leave the article down below in the description for you guys if you want to take a deep dive into it. But basically, the whole point of the article is that first, Captain Marvel's bringing back characters like Ronan's coming back. I can't remember what character he played. He was in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
He was in Blood Diamond. Solomon Diaz, who he played in Blood Diamond. And then they're also bringing back Clark Gregg, who's going to be Agent Phil Coulson. And the whole thing about the article is because they're bringing these characters back, also because of S.H.I.E.L.D.'s tie in the Kree War. Mm-hmm. Basically, it's the fact of
Korath, by the way.
Well, Korath. If Nick Fury was a part of the Kree War, and he was a part of Captain Marvel, why hasn't he warned anybody? Like he hasn't warned anybody. Does this play into the comment that he makes to Iron Man, where he's like, "You're a part of a bigger universe," and the whole theory revolves around that Captain Marvel is an alternate timeline. She is in an alternate timeline. That's why in Avengers 4, they're going to use, because there's already photos from set that they have these little like stopwatches on their hand. They're going back in time. They're jumping timelines maybe. Maybe that's how she then comes into it. Are you buying the alternate timeline with Captain Marvel, or alternate timeline in the MCU in general?
I'm having trouble swallowing that pill just because Marvel has never played with that before. They played with separate dimensions. They've played with different realms. They've played with, but Disney, and when I say Marvel in this case, I mean Disney.
But that's because they've never had the Time Stone, and they've never had Doctor Strange as... Except for his solo movie, he hasn't been in a ton of other movies.
That's true. I'm just having I'm having trouble swallowing this pill only because of, again, they haven't played around with this before. They haven't really touched on this a whole lot, other than doing a time loop. I mean, yeah,
with Dormammu.
Exactly, with Dormammu. To make like a separate timeline is going to be different, and I mean that's the other thing is. To make the argument, the counter argument is Nick Fury is really about compartmentalizing, if I'm saying that correctly. I feel like I'm not half the time.
I think you are.
And what he does is, hey, I'm only going to tell you this shit if I feel like you need to know. So maybe he feels like no one in the Avengers really needs to know about this right now. Yeah. That there's a Kree invasion that has nothing to do with you guys. You guys worry about shit on Earth.
Well, and here's the thing, and I'm going to bring in something else. So this is from Benedict Cumberbatch. And it says, speaking during the Marvel Studios' The First 10 Years Evolution of Heroes, which appears as a bonus feature on Thor Ragnarok, the Doctor Strange star, Benedict Cumberbatch, hinted at a much bigger MCU. And here's the exact quote. What we've seen happen within the MCU is this ever-expanding capture of superheroes. Or, contour of superheroes. And I think now we're at the stage where this universe, even within our world, has gotten quite crowded. And it's just about to explode into other dimensions. I'm bringing something else into this.
Okay.
What if, and I know it overlaps a little bit, we were wondering, why is Sony's big push on a Spider-Verse? Why is their big push on, hey, we need a Not just we're going to have our own Spider-Man movies. They're coming out with their own movie titled Into the Spider-Verse. What if that is Disney and Sony working together? Now I'm putting my tinfoil hat on here, so work with me, Johnny.
Ricky likes his tinfoil hat.
Sony and Disney probably are working. They're in cahoots together here.
Cahoots.
Where they obviously talk to each other because Sony let them have the rights to Spider-Man. What if it's bigger than that, though? What if it's, hey, we want to, when we get past and we go to our cosmic phase, we want other dimensions. We want multiverses. We want a universe where there's a ton of Spider-Man. Peter Parker's dead, and there's a ton of Spider-Man. We don't know if Peter Parker's actually dead. We just see the tombstone that says PP, which is supposed to make us think Peter Parker. But what if this is bigger? To where after the Avengers, they're going to dive into cosmic, different dimensions, and even that Into the Spider-Verse is just Sony building that up, so then after Avengers 4, boom, the Spider-Verse is already established, and they're doing all the legwork now so that we know about it, it's established before we get to that point.
Maybe. I mean, Disney is one to actually plan things out thoroughly and
like
way
we
ahead
said
of
in
time.
the last segment.
Yeah, in the last segment. They plan out things thoroughly. They plan out things way ahead of time, but like in a good way. They're like that OCD kid in school that has their every damn thing written down in their
every
spiral.
Possibility,
everything that needs to happen in their spiral. You can go like 8 months ahead and they have everything planned out already. It's like, okay. But that's Disney. And it works really well for them. And they're doing really well with everything they're doing. So it's possible. And I'm not downing that it's not possible that there's going to be an alternate timeline / alternate not dimensions, but would you put it? Universe. Is that like alternate universe?
The multiverses.
Multiverse, thank you. I'm not doubting that they may start doing something like that. I'm just saying it's a hard pill to swallow because A, they've never touched on it before, and B, there's still hints, there's still ways to get around it without doing that specifically. Rewriting the timeline is another thing instead of making, and then again that does play into making multiverse then. If you and that goes into a whole theory of time travel. To me, I don't feel like getting in right now.
To me, this theory is an easier pill to swallow than you're saying. Like, for you, it's hard to swallow. For me, it's a little bit easier because after reading this article, I was starting to think of conversations that you and I have had. All right, Captain Marvel's set in the 90s, but there's so many questions. Why haven't we heard about Captain Marvel? I get some of these questions. Take out the questions of Disney didn't plan Captain Marvel at the beginning. Take that out. Just go with the universe. Where's Captain Marvel been? It happened in the 90s. We're now in the 2000s. Where has she been? You also have the why haven't I heard anything about the Kree? Nick Fury hasn't referenced anything to it. There hasn't been any knowledge to it. Like, Coulson doesn't know anything about it. Ronan doesn't know. Like, think about that. Ronan and Korgoth, both of which we've seen. Korath. In Guardians of the Galaxy. We didn't hear anything from them. I would assume Ronan would maybe reference it to Thanos. Like, and Thanos, I'm not saying Thanos needs to know about it, but if Thanos didn't know, Ronan would know if he's in that movie and is going to be involved in the Captain Marvel movie. That's why, to me, I don't know if I'm not 100% sure, like, yes, they're doing an alternate timeline, but part of me is like, all right, that explains why we haven't heard anything about this.
Well, and like you said, aside from the fact that we didn't, like, at the time, Disney probably didn't know they were going to make a Captain Marvel movie, but I mean, it could be why Ronan's the way he acts now, why he like goes to Thanos. It could be Coulson. There's a whole thing, and if you had watched any of Agents of Shield, more of that stuff.
They do reference it.
They do reference it a lot, and there's actually that's part of what the Inhumans thing is.
The Inhumans thing that never really got off the ground.
Well,
is that what you're talking about?
They have Inhumans in there, and then that Inhumans
I thought you were
show.
talking about the show that it was.
That's
like,
that's actually Inhumans is the spin-off of that.
Yeah.
Because that's still going. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. But Inhumans are referenced in there. The Kree is referenced quite a few times in there. They even spoiler alert on any of you that haven't watched it, and I'm going to spoil it for you because you don't watch it. They actually,
I'm just not going to listen. How about that?
They have what's used partially in the chemical used to bring Coulson back to life for that show is a derivative of a dead Kree body. Okay. So there's Kree stuff in that. So all the Marvel universe connects. The TV shows, the Netflix series.
Just not Netflix. We're not going to bring Luke Cage in.
We're not going to bring him in, but they connect in a loose way.
And that's why for me, like, I'm mainly with the movies. I get that Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is linked in. Yeah. But to me, it's how many, and I get how many people are like myself. I don't care about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Like, that was a TV thing to where I'm like, whatever. I'm just going to go see the movies. And, like, the thing with TV that this is a little side thing, but I'm going to bring this aside in. Yeah. The thing with TV shows that, especially for me, is when you're telling me, all right, you have to, like, every Tuesday at 7 o'clock, I'm fucking busy. I've got shit to do. Yeah, I get we've got on demand right now, but it comes into the add it to the queue, and then it just adds to the queue. I just never get to it.
See, I've been making sure to get to it lately.
And then it
more of my
up,
things. Well, I don't do it. I don't have on demand. I wait for it to come on Netflix or Hulu because I have those now.
But back to the main point of the multiverse ultimate timeline. Yeah, I'm thinking it could be a better possibility than not, only because in the movies we haven't seen anything, and who knows? What if they say like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.? What if behind the scenes they've been dealing with the time loop or whatever and the alternate dimensions, and that's how they got this, and that they could explain a whole lot. They wouldn't have to. Yeah. But part of me is thinking, all right, like, could it be a possibility? Because one of the other questions is, how do you kill Thanos? And that's a lot of videos that you see on YouTube now. Like, you look at the side of Johnny, one of them might say, all right, how do you kill Thanos? And a lot of people are like, oh, what about Adam Warlock? Well, Gunn came out and said, no, he's not in Avengers. Yeah, Stop it. He's not in Avengers.
Stop it. It's like slapping the hand of someone reaching for a cookie.
And, like, even Captain Marvel, we don't know, because in some interviews they say no, but then the Russos in another interview say yes, so we don't know if she's in Infinity War. We know she's going to be in Infinity. Like, we don't know if she's in Infinity War, the one coming out in less than a month.
No, we don't know if
we know for sure she's going to be in Avengers 4. And part of me goes, if it's not Adam Warlock, Captain Marvel has to be the trump card. She has to be the one to take down Thanos, unless you're coming at it with these heroes need to bind together and find the weaknesses within these stones that they have all used. Like, Doctor Strange is going to have some inside knowledge about the time stone that helps them get that away from Thanos. Oh, Thor's going to have some weird knowledge about the Tesseract, or about the Ether, where all of them kind of know about the Tesseract already. Well, Vision's going to be able to tell you a little bit about the Mind Stone.
Because he does keep harping on, hey, I have no idea what this thing exactly does. It's in my head. Yeah. He's afraid of it. Exactly. So maybe during some of this time, he'll actually have figured out some of the things about the stone.
And then the Soul Stone, we don't know where the hell it is. We don't know where the hell that's
Lost cause.
We don't know where that thing is.
Heimdall.
Here's an offshoot question.
Yes.
And I'm asking this only because...
You're an offshoot
question. And I can't remember Twitter user who... One of our fans, I know that, sent me a Twitter mention asking about, so that Cap scene... Yeah. Where Thanos comes down and he's got the two hands. If you do look close enough, there is a little bit of a...
orange.
Of a little orangey tint in his iris.
Capsize?
Capsize. There are some possibilities. Either Cap has the Mind Stone. Don't think so. No. Vision disguising himself as Cap. Maybe.
That's possible.
Or the one that I've heard, I'm not saying it's going to happen. Yeah. But it would make sense. if while being the Nomad, Cap found the Soul Stone and he has the Soul Stone.
That could be it too. I would say the last two are the cooler options because having Vision stronger than Captain America in the first place.
Yeah,
because that would explain Thanos' face of why is he so strong?
Yeah, exactly.
Because he swats down and Cap's going like this. Could you
it
imagine?
Could make sense that is Vision,
right in the middle of it, like doing that, doing the scream thing, switches back to Vision.
Because you do think about it, it's like the same point of. People ask, well, why does he look like Paul Bettany? Well, it's because Vision can construct anything.
Yeah, he can make himself look like anything or anyone.
He could basically say, I want to look like Martian Manhunter. I want to look like Cap.
Make himself look like Cap.
Oh, I want to look like Tony. I can make myself look like... He's like a Mystique Martian Manhunter.
Yes.
Hybrid.
Well, Martian Manhunter can make himself look like whoever he wants too. So it's like Martian Manhunter.
Especially John Johns.
Yeah, John Johns.
His alter ego. But I mean...
So, I mean, it could be that one. I have to say that one's cool.
I'm buying into that theory a little bit, that could be Vision disguised as Cap.
If I'm going to rate them, it's going to be, that's number one. Number two is that Cap found it. And what was the third one? I don't remember what you said.
That Cap has the Soul Stone.
No, that's my second one.
So one of them was Vision as Cap.
Yeah.
One of them was he's got the Soul Stone.
Yep.
The other one, it was the one I completely wrote off. It's the one I completely wrote off and said, no, that's not going to happen. I can't remember what it was.
Well, then we don't have a number three.
I can't even remember what it was.
I would say Vision, the overall one I would go with is Vision is make himself look like Cap.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I mean, the other one, if you think about it, if you remember back to Thor Ragnarok, when he says, Heimdall, show me what's going on, and Thor's eyes turn orange, and he can see everything that's going on with Heimdall.
So you're saying that's maybe Heimdall doing the same thing with Cap?
Could be.
Ooh, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
I didn't think about that. Because is Heimdall going to be in? He didn't die.
He's not dead. At least not that we know of. Yeah, he might be in Infinity Wars.
He could still even have the Soul Stone.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a throwback for us. We even talked about Heimdall having the Soul Stone.
Johnny harping on the Heimdall theory? What?
Is that what you're still banking on, that he has the Soul Stone?
That's my pony right there. That's my go-to, but I like some of these other theories.
Any final thoughts on the alternate timeline theory or anything?
Again, I still having trouble swallowing it because there's ways we can get around without switching the whole timeline, but
she's the trump card right?
Yes, in a sense, yeah. She's the one that's probably going to push it over the edge.
Because in the comics, it's Adam Warlock who's the trump card, he's not going to be in this.
She's probably the one that to help make that push that can defeat Thanos, and because we always say it's Thanos, but Thanos and his Black Order. And Black Order. That's the problem. Also, you know what I heard? Rumor in MCU land. So they have teased, I guess, that the Black Order is... Because what's one thing in the trailer? Whose voices have we never heard? Go for it.
The Black Order.
Yeah.
So there are teases.
Yeah, no, that's right. You're right.
What the Russos have said is that you will recognize their voices. Ooh. And one of the names for one of them is Kevin Conroy. Batman.
Oh.
Kevin Conroy. Maybe that's what Peter Dinklage is.
Yeah.
Maybe he's one of them. But I'm excited. As soon as I heard Kevin Conroy, I was like, I'm just going to hear Batman. That's all I'm going to hear is Batman. That's all I'm going to hear is just straight Batman. And I don't think I'm going to be able to disassociate that in my head.
No,
I don't know if it's just going to be an overload and just my brain's going to explode that night.
He's Batman.
And then we're not going to do podcasts that night because his brain's going to explode. While watching Avengers.
You have to clean it up off the...
Yeah, the movie theater ain't going to clean that. They're going to give you the broom, and you're going to have to do that for me.
The good thing I'm bringing tissue. I can get started as the movie's going on.
Well, this is where you guys come in. Let us know what you think down below about the alternate timeline theory, about anything we talked about with the MCU, and anything. Also, let us know anything Avengers that you want us to talk about before we gear up for Infinity War on the 26th. That's when you and I are seeing it. Let us know what you guys think down below in the comment section.